Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Shadows Within on the Shadowed City podcast. I am your host, Larry, and we have some shows to go over. Night on Bourbon Street, Night 1, RCW and Hellfire's Infernal Nightmare, and we also have ICW Beatdown to go over. So we will talk about Nightmare on Bourbon Street, Night 1. Night 2 should be today. Night 1 was yesterday. If you missed it, go check it out. AJ Woods produced a fantastic show from start to finish, and I'm excited to see what Night 2 has to offer. If Night 2 gets delayed, we can always wait for it, but I'm pretty sure it is today, as it was announced, November 1st and October 31st. And Night 1 passed, so let's get to Night what happened. To kick off the show, it was Johnny Superkicks versus Shan Leon in a grueling matchup. Both men scratching, clawing blood, sweat, and tears to get the victory. And in the end, Johnny Superkicks was the one that walked out victorious. Triple threat submissions between Mr. Patterson, Carmelo Justice, and Deuce Sparks. And that was an intense battle between all three competitors. They all had a great chance of taking home the victory and the win. But in the end, it was Deuce Sparks walking away victorious. Next was a triple threat elimination to determine which man would go in to enter the Iron Survivor and be the 8th and final man, as it was between the Mighty, DMK, and Derek Marshall, and it was a war between all three. And then in the end, the Mighty walked out victorious, advancing to Night 2, going into the Iron Survivor with 7 other competitors. Will he win the title? That remains to be seen, because he has a few more in that field to go through. Next up, Damian Graves versus Severus Crowley. A very scary matchup. 2 brutes, 2 monsters, 2 demons, whatever you want to call them, went to absolute violence and chaos. And it was Damian Graves walking out victorious. CJ Frost versus Trey Keikoa. This was another grueling battle, one for the ages, as CJ Frost walked out victorious. 2 out of 3 falls count anywhere between the dog, Rob Anderson, and the clown, Insidious. The clown, Insidious, is on his retirement tour, and the dog, Rob Anderson, and him have had many of wars, and this was just another one in their saga, and this was voted by a lot of people to be the matchup of the night, but I would not disagree there. It was a grueling battle, hard-fought war, and all the matches were great in my eyes, all bangers. And to cap off the night, for the Iron Queen Championship and the Women's Iron Survivor, Gracie Gloss, Amazon Megan, Nikita Cole, Madea, Malika Killings, Becca Edwards, Britt Graves, and the champion Amaya Bryant all walked in with one goal in mind, to take that championship. And in the end, Becca Edwards became the new champion. Now, we'll move on to the RCW PLE that passed and the winners of that night. To kick off the show was an 8-person mixed battle royal, and it was between Plum, Barbara Santos, J-Mac, Sylvia Knight, the Green Giant Riley, and John Robb, and Britt Graves. All 8 competitors entered with one goal in mind, to win, and it was no easy task, and it went on for some time. Until the end, it was one man left standing, and that was the Savage John Robb. And who knows what he shall get going forward into this, and what the opportunity shall be. I guess that remains to be seen. Nikki Cross versus Victoria versus the Nun in a triple threat tables matchup. And it was another war, and the Nun walked out victorious, looking to make her claim here and do more damage and destruction in her wake. The Nasty Boys met the Headbangers in a parking lot brawl, and that was another war in the parking lot. And in the end, the Nasty Boys walked away victorious. Buster Anderson versus Billy Jigsaw in an underground matchup. Buster has been on a losing streak, losing to Leatherface, Chucky, and then he finally met Billy Jigsaw, and he finally picked up the victory after a long while. And who knows where Buster will go from here and what will happen with Billy Jigsaw. I already said that one. Jason versus Freddy Krueger in an ambulance match, and this was possibly voted matchup of the night with how it went. It was absolute chaos and violence. There was war, there was everything in between. And in the end, Mr. Voorhees walked away victorious. Is it done between these two? That remains to be seen. A hardcore match for the Fiend Championship as the champion BPW took on Rick James in another grueling battle. Two men that have been battling out for some time and absolutely hate each other. And in the end, BPW retained. Big Papa Wolf retained his belt. Hell in a Cell. Oh, sorry. Falls Count Anywhere. Triple Threat. Tornado Tag Team. Falls Count Anywhere. For the Brutality Tag Team Championships. Merkel, Urkel, and Medea versus the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and Undertaker, versus the Wolfpack, Big Lou and Leon Smoke. With the Wolfpack retaining the titles in victorious fashion. They've been running through every single tag team. Merkel did pick up a victory against them one of the weeks, and the Brothers of Destruction they have faced off with before, but the Wolfpack retained in such victorious fashion. Hell in a Cell, the Berlin Walls take on the Faces of Fear for the Blackout Tag Team Championships. The Faces of Fear winning their defending against the ladies that have been running Rampshot through Uprise and Hellfire. Berlin Walls is a faction of 4 ladies and possibly could continue to grow as time goes on. But in the end, the Faces of Fear picked up the victory, showing their tag team chemistry and prowess, overcoming the Walls. After the Walls have had their number, then they finally got this big victory. Next up, a 2 out of 3 no escape steel cage matchup between Big T and the champion Jack Graves, who was the Def champion walking in, and it was for the Def championship. Big T walked out the new Def champion. I'm excited to see what he shall do with that championship and where he shall go from here. Women 5150 Iron Death match, as it was Angelina taking on the Hellfire Women's Champion Reagan Anderson, with Reagan Anderson defending against Angelina in another war, and this was the co-main event, and Angelina walked away the new champion. And Reagan had a very impressive run. Will she go after that belt yet again? That remains to be seen. And the cap off the night, it was a Leaning Tables of Eddies match, as it was Nightmare Briggs, the challenger, versus the champion, the Hellfire champion, Lewis West, for the Hellfire championship, with Nightmare Briggs walking away victorious and becoming the new champion. And that was a crazy night. If you missed it, go check it out. It was fantastic. It's up on YouTube and Twitch. And Nightmare on Bourbon Street Night 1 is up there on Twitch as well. Now we're going to go over IZW Beatdown that passed. It was a very impressive show from one Mr. Jack Graves. If you never checked out IZW, go check it out. It continues to thrive and grow as time goes on. And the kickoff tonight, it was Ultimo versus Bullet. 2 men that look like they just hate each other, absolutely just despise one another. And they went through everything and everything they could. And in the end, it was Ultimo walking away victorious. Next up was a Falls Count Anywhere between Britt Graves and LaShawn S. As LaShawn S. took away that victory. Who knows where the ladies shall go from here? A great battle, one for the ages. Tornado tag match between Jordan King and OG Dragon Blade versus Andre Blackbear and Yosef Sokolov, with Andre and Yosef walking away victorious. 2 mean brutes in the tag division that continue to run rush shot when they can and possibly become the next tag team champions in the near future. 5 Tables of Death, Tempest Fraga versus Akira Frost versus Cassandra versus FMJ versus Jen, with Tempest Fraga walking away victorious. Now, next up was a 2 out of 3 Extreme Rules matchup between Aiden Williams and the Savage John Robb. Been putting on a showing, and it was a great matchup. If you missed it, go check it out. Go check out the whole show from start to finish, banger after banger. And John Robb walked away victorious. Rusty Steele versus Corey Bishop versus Ghost Edwards versus John Wigginton in a fatal 4-way. John Wigginton, the lone wolf, walked away victorious. Two out of 3 falls, Jack Graves versus Jay Monster, with Jack Graves walking out victorious. In the co-main event, it was an underground between Travell and KD, King Dominator, who is no stranger to the tag or single scene, same with Travell. And they both met up one-on-one here in an underground matchup, and KD walked out victorious. And the cap off the night, it was an Extreme Rules between Violet Grimm and Reagan Anderson. Welcome, Robin Leanne Shrek Boa. Hope you're well. Welcome, MG. With Reagan Anderson walking away victorious in that matchup. Now, if you guys missed it, SPW Return of Carnage TV happened yesterday. Go check that out up on Twitch. And I'm hoping to get to that review later on today in like a war room. I know I got the draft coming up for CLPW today. And we may have a very special guest go over his show. A show that we haven't got over before. So stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope everybody has a great day, good night, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever y'all may be. Peace out.